How's it going, everyone? My name's Antonio Lab, coming to you from Antonio Lab Studios right here on the Antonio Lab Media Group Productions YouTube channel. My Twitter and Twitch are Antonio Lab Media. Feel free to subscribe and follow me there. And I will be talking about a good ship named Jesus, despite the ignoring the background noise I have going on, because we are a startup channel. And if you want to make a donation, I'll be sure to leave a link where you can send me money and or products or supplies. But let's move on though. I'm just so sick and tired of these pro-blacks making these same bullet point arguments, these claims that since Jesus was the name of a slave ship. But hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself though. I'm gonna try and be as less biased as possible. I'm going to try my hardest to be neutral, and I'm going to try my hardest to get down to the point, tell the truth, the story, because I will get to that though. And I just want to let you, the viewer, know that you have free will. You can make your own decisions. If you want to support me, cool. If you don't, alright. There's no need to go back and forth and argue. Let's just leave it at that though. But my issue with the pro-blacks is I feel like they're not helping out the communities though. Yeah, you schedule debates. Yeah, you go out in the streets and spread the word about your ancient Egyptian history. Okay, but what I don't like is how you go around telling this rhetoric about Jesus being a slave ship and implying that he wasn't real. Some of you just flat out say it like Jesus, this deity that ain't real, but you should believe that there is no God, there's no devil. No, I can't get down with that though. I believe there is a God. I do believe there is a devil. That's just what I believe. But you can disagree. I'm not going to argue with that though. But I'm going to talk about the history of the slave ship called Jesus, or a good ship called Jesus. But you already read the title though. But anyway, I'm going to try to leave links and a video in the description so you can further your research though. But I'm going to run down a gist of what is the information about the actual ship. So let me just take a moment to catch my breath. Okay, I feel better now. Alright, so pretty much Sir Admiral John Hawkins and his cousin Sir Francis Drake and Jesus of Lubeck was a cataract built in the free city of Lubeck in the early 16th century, around 1540. The ship, which had mostly been used for representative purposes, acquired by Henry VIII, King of England, to augment his fleet. The ship saw action during the French invasion of the Isle of Wight in 1545. She, along with the Samson, which I believe I got that down as a typo, were used in an unsuccessful attempt to raise Henry VIII's flagship for the Mary Rose after she foundered during the Battle of the Solent. She was later chartered to a group of merchants in 1563 by Queen Elizabeth. Jesus of Lubeck became involved in the Atlantic slave trade under John Hawkins, who was a pastor, which I'll get to that later, who organized for voyages to South Africa and the West Indies between 1562 and 1568. During the last voyages, Jesus, along with several other English ships, and encountered a Spanish fleet of San Juan of Ula, modern-day Veracruz, Mexico, in September 1568. In the resulting battle, Jesus was captured by Spanish forces. That heavily damaged ship was later sold for 601 ducats to a local merchant. In case you were wondering about the slave ship, that is what happened to that old puppy, that old pile of crap. Now, let me give you a quick little rundown of John Hawkins though. He was appointed by Queen Elizabeth herself, or the Queen of England I should say. he went down to South Africa or Africa, enslaved a whole bunch of Africans, about like 300 to 400 of them, either by trial by combat or just straight up deception. Like, he promised them free land and a whole lot of food and ended up not giving it to them, and that's how he was able to get a lot of them though. And later on, like, after his first voyage, like, the sickening part was he used other Africans to capture more Africans, and that's the part where it really, I felt a certain type of way. Like, I didn't feel right, but that's what happened though. And this guy, like, he was he ended up selling a lot of these Africans for a lot of silver though, because at that time the Atlantic slave trade was more profitable than the actual slavery itself though. Even though in 1577 it was outlawed in England, but it was still allowed in the colonies. And the colonies, that still happened though, because I'm not sure if I said this already, but Sir Admiral John Hawkins was the first slave master, and he ran the first slave ship, a good ship called Jesus, which is symbolic till this day, because these churches now are enslaving the minds of African Americans, and the pastors are the gatekeepers to all of this going on. And I just believe it's written somewhere that the church and the state shall remain separate, something along those lines. It's either in the Constitution or it's like in the Bill of Rights or something like that. You guys can help me out here. I'm spitballing right now, but it really says a lot what's happening till this day, because those who don't know the history are doomed to repeat it, and we're repeating it hard right now though. But to go back on this guy, just because Jesus was written on the name of a slave ship and was used to enslave a lot of Africans does not mean the deity isn't real. I could say that a police officer kidnapped someone and went somewhere, or kidnapped someone, threw them in the back of their trunk and went somewhere. That doesn't mean the law doesn't exist or doesn't apply or isn't in effect. It just means the guy who was behind the uniform, the badge, and the hat, and the gun was in the wrong, and he's a POS. Just like this guy, Sir John Hawkins, man. Like, he was a real bad guy. Like, he was a villain, but he put the fear of God in these slaves. But he, like, just because he was a pastor doesn't mean he was a good guy. He was just a messed up individual though, and he got rich off this Atlantic slave trade. Him and his brother Drake Maverick, or not Drake Maverick, hold on, I got it. It's his cousin Sir Francis Drake, there we go. But they end up parting ways, and because of a storm they lost a whole lot of men due to all that though, and they were still rich after that though. But I'm gonna end it off with that, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the audio came out clear. It was something that I really was glad that I found out the full story about this, because I don't recall this being taught in school. And you guys can either share this video or just click the links that I've posted down below and just read them, like expand your horizons with some stuff that's going on, because I'm still going to do some more research into that, and I'm planning on doing some research about the Native Americans that were enslaved here, because there's a lot of Africans, or there's a lot of black people who live in America right now who didn't come off a boat. They were already enslaved here, but that's going to come a long time. That's a video in the making that's not gonna come out for me for a while now, because that's something that I was fairly new to. But thank you though, and please ignore the background noise, because I'm starting this up from the ground up right now though, and I do plan on getting more and better working and effective equipment And yeah, I'm Antonio Lab, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.
Here I come with the gat and the guitar was strum. Not that lunatic nigga who you thought I was. When I caught you slipping, I'ma catch you, then I pull your cap. Snap back, relax. You better not be slipping with them D's on that 83 Cadillac. So we gon' smoke an ounce to this. G's up, hoes down, while you motherfuckers bounce to this.